Hello friends, Chris here, CaribbeanPot.com, your wicked chef. If it's your first time watching me here on YouTube, below click on subscribe. You're going to get all the latest videos sent directly to you as soon as they go live. And look what we're doing today. I've got me an acorn squash. You can use a butternut squash if you want. Sweet potato, some garlic, shallot, all roasted in the oven for about 40 minutes. Kitchen smelling wicked. Today we're doing sweet potato squash soup. You're gonna love it. We're gonna put some coconut milk in there, a little bit of Caribbean sunshine. You know it's gonna be wicked. Vegetarians, you're gonna love this one. So here we go. I've got my vegetables all cut up and we've got to roast these, and the reason why I cut them, like I said, we've got to roast them in the oven. So the sweet potato, I just cut it in half, and this sweet potato here is about 3/4 of a pound, and I've got one acorn squash that I cut in half and I scooped out the seeds. So using a spoon, all you would do, just work the spoon in there, and you see all that seeds, all that, that's just going to go in the garbage. Or you can roast these, they're good like pumpkin seeds. The other thing is the shallot, I just cut it in half as well. And we're going to prep these now. All we have to do is to brush the cut side with about 2 tablespoons or so of olive oil. My oven is preheating at 375. So 375 degrees Fahrenheit. I've got my heavy baking sheet all ready and ready to go. Brush, olive oil, and all we're going to do is the cut side, we're just going to liberally brush that olive oil onto there and just rest it down onto the baking sheet. Cut side down, sorry. And again, the same thing I'm going to do here with the acorn squash, as well as the shallot, a nice big shallot here. So all of these are going to go cut side down onto the tray there, and in the oven 375 degrees for about 40 minutes. I've also got 4 cloves of garlic with the skin on, and I'm just going to toss it in between here, because you want those to roast off as well with the other root vegetables here. To add a little kick to the soup, what I've gone ahead and done, my Caribbean Sunshine Scotch bonnet pepper, I took off the bottom part, so maybe about 1/3 of the pepper, and I've diced it up very finely here. You guys will notice down to the bottom inside there, where that seeds and sort of white membrane is, that's where that raw heat is. Keep away from that. It is going to be too much heat for you. You're going to get a lot of flavor from the bottom part of this that I chopped up finely here. Remember, wear gloves and wash your hands with soap and water after using such hostile peppers. With the vegetables cooled, so after I took it out of the oven, remember we roasted them in the oven, they're nice and cool now, easy to handle. You're going to need a tablespoon, and all you're going to do is scrape out that lovely inside, look at that, of that sweet potato. And I've got my soup pot all ready and waiting to go, so I'm just going to toss that in there. And I'm going to do the same for the squash as well. You want to get all that nice stuff in the pot. With the garlic, all you're going to do is pinch it and sort of take off the outer shell, and this lovely roasted inside is going to go directly into the pot as well. With the shallot, you're just going to do the same thing, remove that outer skin. And this is nice and caramelized now, so you want to remove that bit of outer skin there. And all that juicy, nice, look at that golden brown. Hey, you know how sweet that is there? All that's going to go into the soup pot. I've scooped out the sweet potato, the squash, I removed the skins off, the garlic and the shallots. Everything is in there now that we roasted off. So what I'm going to turn my stove on to a medium-high heat. And I've got here 3 cups of vegetable stock. And we're going to bring that up to a boil. I've also got some sea salt. This is about 1/2 teaspoon of sea salt. And I've got that lovely Scotch bonnet pepper that I diced up. It's all going to go in there. Some fresh ground black pepper. A nice dose of that fresh ground black pepper. Just going to stir that around a little bit. We're going to bring this up to a boil, and then we're going to let that simmer for about 20 minutes or so before we put the submersion blender in there to puree everything to be nice and smooth. The soup is now starting to come up to a boil, so in goes the coconut milk, and I've got here about between 1/2 and 3/4 cups of coconut milk. Just give that a quick stir, and we want to let this simmer or gently bubble away for about 20 minutes until all the little vegetables and everything gets very tender. The coconut milk is going to do its thing to add a lot of flavor, and if you want, you can add a little bit of dry thyme in here, some rosemary. It's totally up to you. You can season this up any which way you like. Add the herbs that you like. 20 minutes, gentle simmer, and then we're just going to carry on after that. It's been going now for 20 minutes. Just going to give it a quick stir. All the vegetables in there should be nice and tender now. It should start taking on a nice thick consistency. The final step to this is to, in this case here, I'm using a submersion blender. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the stove off because I don't want that jumping back at me. If you don't have a submersion blender like one of these guys here, what you will need to do is to allow it to cool quite a bit and then pour it into a food processor or blender, blend it, and then return it back to the pot and bring it back up to temperature. So all we're going to do now is to blend this with the submersion blender until everything is nice and smooth. It will take on a thick consistency, but it will go nice and silky. Give it a couple minutes on there and it should be good. Look at the lovely consistency that I have here. Nice, thick, rich soup. Guys, this is good on a Monday night. You come home from work. And by the way, you can make this and freeze it. Warm it up when you come home. You're good to go. Monday night, after the weekend and that heavy Sunday meal, something light and warm. Boy, I'm just gonna taste it for salt. Adjust accordingly and you're good to go. Got me a nice bowl of that soup here, nice and hot. Give me some crusty bread and you're good to go. But all to finish this up, a nice little bit of chopped up chives. Boy, oh boy, look at that. Looking good, healthy for you, and tasty. Vegetarians, you're gonna love this. Non-vegetarians, give it a try. You'll be absolutely surprised. Chris here at CaribbeanPot.com. Always a pleasure having you guys here in the kitchen with me. Today we did that lovely soup with the squash, with the sweet potato, the roasted shallots, the garlic, and we added a little bit of Caribbean sunshine. Always a pleasure to have you guys here in the kitchen with me. Remember to check out CaribbeanPot.com for all the wonderful Caribbean type recipes. Have a great day, guys.